Good weekend, all. Ira Epstein, and here we are with your weekend edition of your Metal Market Wrap-Up. And this wrap-up is for Friday, and this is the 26th of May, 2023. And before we go anywhere, I want to thank all the Civil War soldiers. You heard me, Civil War. That's what Memorial Day was in memory of, that gave us these freedoms. And that is exactly what happened. America fought for certain liberties. It was won. And we are a free country, and we don't forget that. You shouldn't forget it. I don't care if you're Confederate or whatever, Northern, or it doesn't matter. It's America, and that's how I view it. Black, white, same thing. If you're an American, you're an American. That's what America's about. I wish we had an immigration policy that understood if you're going to bring all these people in, let them work. I don't get it. I don't understand anything, but that's another issue. Okay. So let's talk about where we're at with things, because a quickie was pulled again by the Biden administration. And I don't want people to think when they tune this in, I'm a Biden basher. I am not a Biden basher. He's my president. I am a basher of his policies. And I was a basher of the person, Trump, but I loved his policies. Difference. But the policies here are insane. First, we weren't going to be able to buy crude oil when we should have been buying it because we didn't have the caverns. The maintenance wasn't going to be done to the end of the year. Then again, suddenly when prices broke, after they broke, oh, now we'll take tenders. Of course, prices are way back up, $8 from the lows. Now today, this is the beauty of it. Janet Yellen, who I mentioned to you yesterday and the day before, she's now the spokesperson for the Biden administration. Joe's not the spokesperson, it's she. And suddenly, as everybody's hoping that tonight, Friday night, hoping that they would pen a deal, that we've got it, it would be sent to everybody, they'd get their 72-hour review come Tuesday, we would be on the floor of the House and in the Senate debating the bill. Is it going to pass? Probably going to pass. Who's going to vote to put America into default? Come on. You think you want your name in the school books for years to come that you broke America? I don't think so. But there'll be people that fight that. All right. But instead of letting that event positively take place, the Biden administration sends out Yellen to yell and say, oh no, I found more money. We don't have a January 1st date. I think we can go to the 5th now. So everybody for Social Security, the 88-year-olds and the disabilities, don't worry, you got your check. Joe's a good guy. He found you this money. What is that all about? So instead of this all done, you have literally, and I don't believe her dates, obviously, until a week from Monday, not this Monday, a week from Monday, and who knows where it really is, okay? So did this, oh, I didn't mean to have that come up. I'm sorry. We'll talk about that in a minute. So did this throw a fly into it? Yeah. Probably because they weren't getting what they wanted. Why else would you do it? You want the bill to get done. So if it's not going your way, and probably over what? The workers. And does an able-bodied person have to work 20 hours to get Medicaid and other parts? They probably don't want any part of that. And guess what? That's what you're reading. They want no part of it, and they've run into an impasse. So now, magically, we'll find more days so we can goose things up. I know I'm sarcastic as can be, but I believe what I'm saying. Okay. Other people should. So when we take a look, the headwind on gold, and you were down 2.74% for the month. The month's going to be over this week, but we'll see where the monthly close per se comes in. How does it fight a roaring dollar because you didn't know where you were on the debt ceiling and high interest rates? Now, the high interest rate part probably is not going to go away because of what Yellen did. The deal could still fall apart. You don't have a deal till you have a deal. But again, I'm going to repeat what I just said. What congressman or senator is going to go down in the book that their votes, they put together the caucus that broke America and made it go into a default? Do you want your name to be that person? I don't think so. So I believe you will get a deal done because of that. It's going to delay. What she did is pushed everything back. They want more negotiation. What the final bill looks like, I don't know. But now what she's actually done is she's opened the door up for, while McCarthy was probably pushing things through that his party didn't like. Now, because of this, I think she opened the door where the pressure comes on him, and in the negotiations, if they don't get something that they want on this bill, the Republicans, they probably say we can't agree to other things because there's more time to negotiate. And that means you're going to be in this next week as well. And then after that, got to deal with the next event. Now, what's the next event? Because it affects gold. Did you see the core PCE today? It's going up, not down. That's the Fed's favorite tool. So it's not only sticky, it's jumping when it's not supposed to be jumping. Did you see yesterday's jobless claims? They're falling, not going up. They were hoping that you weren't going to get those jobs. How are you going to tell me the service industry from the reports isn't gathering more strength? So where do I think that we're going? I think we're going into a strong jobs report. To me, everything's pointing to that. Could I be wrong? I could be very wrong. Could CPI not be as strong as I think it's going to be? Of course. But I think I'm on the right path. This thing got real sticky everywhere in the world, not just the U.S. If you're looking at the core PCE readings around the world, they're coming in strong. Gold, where did it fail? I left this blue line. We put this on a month and a half, 2 months ago, the blue line. Tell me that wasn't pretty accurate for where the market actually failed. It's off the old peak and it's not exactly 2009-80. It's in the 2010 area. But that was the zone. And it's only of closes, not the peak. We know the market got to 2085. It's just closes. But where do you think I think the market's going to find its legs? Right here, the 1940 area. That's where I'm looking for it to find it. You can see how the market is sold off here on the weekly chart. You're not in a trend. You have a market with a higher high and a lower low. You have broken the uptrend, but you did that a week ago. And now you're just getting the follow through to it. And guess where you went? You're right at the 18-week moving average of closes. This should be the first area that it tries to find its support. Where did it fail from? Repeated attempts on the Bollinger top. Only 5% of the time do you stay over a Bollinger top or under it. You can get a couple of weeks in a row. You can get actually up to 5. I've seen it. It's rare in a row of staying over it. Very rare. Could you go beyond 5? Yes. Now we're talking super rare. If you play for rare and super rare events, you probably go broke in this market, okay? You don't want to trade that. You want to trade for the norms. That's what, to me at least, makes more sense. So when you're hitting the Bollinger Bands, people coming out, if you have an embedded reading, which you did not have, they'd be adding. I don't think they did. I think people were just buying and not realizing you're overbought as can be on the weekly chart, and you've gotten rid of that situation. You're now, both numbers are no longer in overbought territory and down into support. Gold-silver ratio, where did the market move to from down here to fight a battle? Back at that 18-week average. I teach this in my charting course. You can have that course for free with the Memorial Day special. In the silver market, lower highs, lower lows, fighting right at where it should, the 18-week average. Now you have 2 more layers of big support coming in from the 100-week and the 2. Now we know who's been the culprit in hurting this market. It's China. If you looked at their metal prices, the ones traded in Shanghai, you see how they've been collapsing all the way through. And that is because another country that never tells you quite the truth, they've been under the influence again of another outbreak from what I'm reading in the news, COVID-19, factories not operating up to snuff, and the rest of the world having a hiccup as our economies, we're trying to slow them down with the central banks raising interest rates and cooling demand. It will cool. The consumer is going into debt. He's not doing what he did before. If you looked at the spending and income parts of today's numbers, the PCEs that came out, you start to see that pretty clearly. In the copper market, you hit the first time a 200-week average. If you were my enemy, I'd hit you in the ribs and say, okay, I don't like you that much, but you're supposed to come out of that market. That's what I think's going on there. In the platinum, you have a downtrend over the 18-week average. So the bias is up, trend down. You're in a correction that probably finds its support right in here. I don't want to be short metals. I'm looking for the next, when we get through the debt ceiling, for inflation to stay strong, gradually come down and be beneficial to metal prices. In the dollar is one thing, fear. This is your new fear index, not the VIX. It's the dollar. Okay? If the U.S. hiccups, the world gets pneumonia. It's really that simple. If we go into default, you realize what happens to all their balance sheets is we're not paying. Everybody says the U.S. won't pay. Well, you know that's not going to be the case, but it could get there for a short period of time and create absolute havoc. Okay, and people have been buying the dollar up in part because of that. So you put it all together, you come to game plans, and that's what it's about. And the game plan I have for you is simple. You get any free course I have. That is my full charting, my morning subscriber video. You can buy to get it. You can buy the Spider ETF video, the full research, but you can get the full charting course. You can choose from the Bollinger Band, the Outside Day course. You can give the courses away as a gift. You can keep them yourself and give the research away. You tell us what you want to do. This is going to end in just a matter of days now. And that's it. Okay? These courses run in value anywhere from $120 to $400. You can buy the research for as low as $156, and you're getting the course. Come on, this is a great gift. So how do you get all this? Just move your cursor to the top here. You'll see an icon appear. Give it a click. You can call my staff if you have questions. We'll be back in the office on Tuesday. Time is running out on this. I sent this as an email. There's a click there, and it'll take you right there as well. And you won't find this page on the website. It's hidden. We didn't make it a web page. You have to click the icon up there to get to it. I'm Ira Epstein. You have a great Memorial Day. Again, thanks all you soldiers from the Civil War, and I will see you all come Tuesday morning. Take care.